Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of the Inkpod Podcast. This has been a long-awaited episode. We've gotten lots of messages in our Instagram and customers knocking on the door saying, hey, I got nothing to listen to once a week, and they needed their Inkpod Podcast fix. So we're here, and we're excited to talk about a new spin. We're kind of switching things up a bit. Sean had a crazy Q4, super busy, crushed it. And he needed to take a breather, and January and February kind of, recover. So we're switching things up a little bit. We're going to do a new concept where we're rotating between 4 different co-hosts, 1 episode a month, so much less commitment from you guys. And we're really excited to basically have everyone on here. I thought it'd be a good opportunity for everyone to kind of introduce themselves in terms of their business. You guys have all been on the podcast, but for anyone new that's joining, and kind of get everyone up to speed with what's going new in your business and, any updates that you guys have for us, because it's been a while and everyone's doing a lot. So we got industry titans here and we don't sit still. So it'd be great to kind of hear what everyone's up to, and maybe Sean, you start off.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do this, guys. I don't know. It's our 5th time doing this because Zach's Wi-Fi was not right. No, I'm just messing. It's only your 2nd time. It's been good, man. It's been really good. I've been busy. Q4, like you said, Zach, was insane. So I couldn't make it on the pod. We had to take a break, and just being realistic, right? For me, even since January and February was slower, it was still hectic because of that growth. We had to find solutions to those problems so it doesn't happen next year, the same thing, right? So we were able to go through Q4 unscathed, and all of our customers were happy, but it's not feasible. It's not scalable to keep doing that. So for me, I had to be realistic, and I had to tell Zach, like, hey, we're going to have to find some new co-hosts to be able to keep pumping these episodes and make it like a reality, right? It's not a goodbye forever. I'm definitely going to come back and join, but it's more of, hey, I can't commit to this every single week, and it has to be realistic. So I was like, Zach, you had to find people, and obviously I'm coming on the pod today, and he's
Zach
found the
came
best
and
guys, right?
scraped the bottom of the barrel to get the rest of these guys together.
he got the best guys. So I'm super excited to see where this is going to go. To be honest, I'm excited to hear the podcast this year, and for me, it's more of what we keep doing, right? So big changes in the last few months. We sold all of our screen printing press. So we're jumping into like more of our online sales and less retail ready stuff, more print on demand and just in time website ordered, delivered. We do a lot of stuff with Graphic Source that produce all of our digitizing for us in extremely fast manner. So it's been good. It's been
For
it's
the
been
POD?
growing. Yeah, for everything.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. That's
It's
cool.
solid. Like our embroidery has not been this dialed in so long, and that's because of Graphic Source. So we're happy, right?
Awesome.
And that's pretty much me. That's my last few months, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are doing and what's happening. So Nick,
Sean,
man,
that was your
yeah,
first Christmas season with POD, I guess, right?
yeah. Like
Okay.
you
So
told me how crazy it was going to be, right? Like
yeah,
you
like
said,
every year I would literally lose 30 pounds. I'll usually hover around like 189, and I'm not over exaggerating. There was one year I hit 154. And I told Sean, like, there were times, because we were printing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from October to
yep,
December. And I remember me and my brother-in-law Scott, there was one point where we printed for 36 hours straight. We slept for 2 hours. We printed another 30 hours. Like, I wouldn't go home. Like, I would literally sleep at the shop. I still have pictures of the guys. We'd have like
yep,
pallet racking with like a little mattress on it. It was insane. It's hard. And every year you're like, okay, I'm going to be prepared. And I'd call up RB and be like, all right, doubling up, send me another
yep.
12 brother machines. Instead of having 30 employees, we're going to have 50 employees. So every year I had that mindset, like, this year we're ready. And then we just get smacked with way more volume than we thought. And it's hard, man. Like, I remember my dad's a fully licensed electrician. He's a foreman. And like every Christmas for the first 3 or 4 years, I'm like, hey, Dad, listen, I need you to come print night shifts with me because I'm losing my mind. And please leave your job where you get paid a ton of money and come print for me for $15 an hour. And he would do it. And I remember this. I remember
That's love.
it was Black Friday. And every time I would come into the night shift, we would print all the barcodes. And we had 16,000 orders come in from one customer. And I literally remember like tears were coming to my eyes. I'm just like, I just don't want this business anymore. I can't do it. So
Yeah.
hats off to you. I mean, it's rough. You always try your best to prepare, but it's really, really difficult, especially since POD is just growing year over year,
Yeah.
right? And, with tools like Sean, the whole print simple things, making it easier. And I'm sure there's going to be more people jumping onto that solution or other types of solution. And that whole POD game is just going to continue to grow. So it's a scary but very fun beast to try and tame,
I mean, the market needs help, to be honest, right? The Black Friday is great for the retail companies, but it's a shit show for anybody that wants to produce. It's unrealistic to be able to be profitable during the rest of the year with the equipment you need just for those days. It's Black Friday, like we had on that day 13,000 orders come in, and
Yeah.
our standard turnaround time is 5 business days.
Orders,
So,
not items.
no, orders.
Yeah,
Our
orders.
average order, because of the discounts, was 3.6 items per order.
Jeez.
So you do right. So you do that, Matt. It's like, okay, how am I going to produce that? Well, it's
Yeah.
going to be 18-hour shifts nonstop until you can do it, and you're going to have a backlog.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can I be transparent and honest with my customers and do it right? So,
And here's the scary thing. You're still printing for like smaller entities. You're not printing for any, like the massive companies. So
No.
some of these massive companies we used to print for, the normal turnaround time, and you would get dinged, like you would literally pay a penalty, 24 to 48 hours. But for Black Friday, hey, grace period, 72 hours. But that's still not enough.
No, it's not
Brutal.
like, it's not feasible. Yeah. So like, you look at all these equipment that are on the market right now, whether it's more DTF, more Impress. All right, am I going to get the Polaris? Am I going to buy the Corny Apollo, the Corny whatever, more DTG brother machines? It's not feasible to have enough equipment for that day to be profitable the rest of the year, right? So look at Printful. They raised hundreds of millions of dollars. They bought Printify, like they're doing that merger to try to find solution to solve those. And it's like, it's hard because what do you do the rest of the year? So you have Father's Day and Mother's Day that are good, that are peak, right? It's their second best time of the year. So Father's Day is really good, but it's hard because the rest of the year is just you're not running 3 shifts, right?
No. And
It's
it's easier now because now, for example, the Mamaki, let's say you don't print on it for a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's okay. But when I was in there, it was the Brother GT381s. So there was no ink recirculation system. There was no circulation through the heads. So literally, this is what we would do. We would have to print on every single printer every single day. Just let's say Christmas, you're printing, 4,000, 6,000 items. Then January, it drops down to like 300. Then it's like, okay, what do we do? And the problem back then is the ink wouldn't agitate, so it would settle. So every single morning, the first 4 or 5 prints were garbage. So what we would do is we'd get all our vintage style prints and all our sport gray shirts, and we would print the crappy prints where it was okay for look good. So Dave would have to scroll through and be like, all right, this one's a pass, this is a pass, this is a pass. Okay, now we'll go to yellow shirts. Oh shit, all we have is black today. I guess the first 30 that come out are garbage, or you have to blow $30 of ink. So it's getting easier, but it's still a logistical nightmare,
Yeah.
And there's no way around it. Like, what do you do?
Custom.
So so that's my story. Thanks, Zach, for understanding and being like, I know your pain. Yeah, I know your pain.
Warned you.
But I want to know how you guys been doing. Like, Nick, how you doing? You're looking good up there, man.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, that's crazy to hear. I mean, just marrying up the logistics that go into that, I couldn't even imagine, man. Thank God you're a software guy.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good luck to the rest of them. But yeah, man. FX has been doing awesome. We opened up a new facility in San Salvador. So I was just down there at the beginning of the year. We started out with 15 employees there, and we're sitting at 60 now.
So,
yeah, 4 months. I've tried to determine all right, when is this going to slow down? But it just continues to keep on going. Whether it's DTF art, embroidery, screen print, all of the above, we're seeing it come in from everybody. Yeah,
It's
man,
insane.
this has been awesome. Glad to be on the pod with the heavy hitters.
Yeah, and just, like industry. There's some shops I'm talking to, they're bumping right now. Like we at RB, we had our biggest January and February of all time, right?
It's awesome.
But if you were to look at your average customer, let's say, and the number of digitized files that you're getting from them, are you seeing growth overall with your customers, or have you seen a bit of a decline? Obviously, you guys are always bringing on more people, so you'll see the growth as a company. But if you were to look at it by like a customer by customer basis, do you see things slowing down a bit, or what are you seeing?
I mean, it's definitely been a roller coaster for sure. So, I mean, what we're seeing is, peak, slow down, peak, slow down. So like, it's definitely been a roller coaster of a year for sure. But with that, I mean, companies are still staying busy. So it hasn't been the craziest growth year for a lot of shops that I talk to, but they're staying above water. And if not, they're merging. So everybody's just kind of had to figure out, there's not a lot of like capital equipment going on down in the States, but people are keeping what they have busy, which is really helpful.
Yeah. And speaking of mergers, I mean, in Canada, we've over the last couple of years, there's, one larger entity called Spicers, and it's kind of bought up like some of our smaller competitors, guys that are in the wide format space. But you're starting to see a lot of mergers happening, obviously, out there with Grimco. They just snapped up GSG.
Right in our
they had done a whole bunch of other,
here in Dallas.
Yeah. Before that, they had Tube Light, and there was another,
Midwest.
several of them. Yeah, Midwest. Yeah. How's the industry kind of reacting? And when I say industry, I mean like the printers. Do they like this? Are they feeling like they're kind of forced into a direction where they don't want to go? And what are you kind of seeing?
Yeah, it's kind of cool because like we have the Eagle Eye being right here in Dallas. There was a little bit of uncertainty. There's no doubt of like how's that going to work? Because I'm used to ordering through GSG. Now like a Grimco customers. A lot of shops are just having to like. The software migration is a little bit different and some of the products are a little bit different. I think as a whole, it's going to be fine. Like it's just a transition. Yeah. With them picking up Rock, that was pretty cool to see. Like, that was, I did not see that one coming, so that's, that's a legacy. That's a legacy, M&R account.
Yeah. I mean, with previously Grimco, when they did some of the other acquisitions, they ended up going with Rock. So,
well, you're right. Look, with Rock and Grimco really is more of in the sign industry, right? That's their primary business. So when I look at Grimco and they brought Rock on, they didn't have the sales reps within the industry to go out and sell equipment. So GSG was a great move, but unfortunately, buying GSG, they were an M&R dealer. And, they were fortunate to partner with Rock. And, we'll see what happens. But, I think M&R they did an exclusive with NASDAR, I think, as well. They just made an announcement.
Not an exclusive. I think it's just in that territory, right? To my understanding. There's still more M&R dealers. They're exclusive in that territory, which used to be a big GSG territory, which I don't think
exclusively GSG.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the change. Okay. Yeah.
So I know some of the reps that were at GSG left. And they went with NASDAR. So NASDAR, I think, has opened a facility now down in place of GSG. So to try to retain, the clients.
Yeah, and I think so. What I was saying is, I think from M&R's perspective, I think that's not a bad thing. It's going to strengthen it. It's good to not have so many competing dealers beating the shit out of each other in the same space, not making money, not being able to support the customer, right? We did it here at RB Digital, right? There used to be 6 dealers and they gave us the exclusivity, and it's been a good move. We're able to afford to have M&R technicians that are trained at our locations, right? Instead of having to have, one guy that was kind of servicing all in Canada and you're waiting for him. So there's a lot of benefits that come when the brand, works on exclusive basis. We do that with Tajima for embroidery, Brother for DTG, right? There's so many lines that we have that are exclusive. And I personally feel that it gives more incentive for the dealer to really invest in that brand and in the end support the customer. So I think it's not a bad play at all, in my opinion.
Zach, you crushed it up there with that big time. I have to give my hats off to you, man. Like what you've brought with M&R in Canada has been, you've done it incredible.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you. Appreciate it.
When I look at what Zach's done in Canada, Zach, you're not just a sales guy, right? Like, you're out, you still help the customer. The one thing that we lack with all these dealers that are out and suppliers, they have sales reps, but there's no knowledge. They want to come in, they're just making a commission check. I'm not saying it's everybody, but to me, this industry, it's residual income on the consumables for any supply house that's selling product. have somebody who has that knowledge of going in, because every shop always has a problem, right? So they really need somebody who can provide a solution, not just a sale. That's important. And I think that's how you retain your customer base. And RB Digital has done that. I see that when I come up and work with you. Like, and it's a fun industry, and you have fun with the customer base as well. So that's important. And I think, for myself, I've built a lot of relationships, really good relationships with people within the industry. And it's been incredible. It's awesome. And before, when I got into this business in the early 90s, the screen print shop next to me, they wouldn't have that conversation with helping me out, right? There was no support whatsoever. It was Google it, figure it out. But we didn't have YouTube. We had Google. And we had dial-up for AOL, so, for your mail. So by the time you wanted to send something, you couldn't even send a large file. But the industry's changed so much, and that's what's made it more exciting, especially like Lee. I mean, you're the guy that had no idea about the industry and jumped into it, and you've built like an incredible platform of followers with what you're doing, and we need people like that in the industry, because it gives them the choice on how they're going to start their business. Am I going to start off manually, or am I going to go right into automated, or am I going to be a DTFer? So that's what we need more of within the industry.
Couldn't agree more.
Big time.
Yeah. So with that said, how about we just go right into Lee? Your background, Lee.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good segue, I gotta say. It's been a pretty crazy year for me so far. My little boy shop is kind of becoming a man slowly. It's we've been adapting to a lot of stuff over the last year. Like, when I started off in the current building that I'm in, it was me by myself, and now I have a staff of 7 people, which has been a whole, anyone who's ever been at the top before knows what that's like to navigate, and it's not fucking easy, that's for sure. And adapting more technology and things like that, expanding our capabilities. We've gone, we have CTS now, we've added DTF literally yesterday. We're doing fulfillment now for some brands, and man, we've just been chipping away at it, trying to grow and grow and grow. I'm trying to expedite our growth process as much as possible, and trying to become the best leader I can be at the same time. And it's been a lot the past year, that's for sure. I've been grinding hard, and that's why the videos kind of slowly tapered off a little bit for the past year. But now thankfully I've got a team behind me, and that was kind of the whole point in building what I've been building now, so I can get myself out of production slowly, become a business owner and not an employee of my business, and start getting back to what I started off doing, which is sharing information and helping people and trying to help them grow in the industry along with me. And that's really the big goal. So it's been a lot for the past little while, but man, it's wouldn't trade it. That's for sure. It's been fucking fun.
So Lee, what you're saying is you
time.
actually print shirts at your location? Because every once in a while I see some haters that say he's not a print shop. So you're too busy to shoot content because you're actually printing shirts?
I mean, you all know behind the scenes, this is just a secret studio. It's all bullshit.
Smoking green screen.
They're all boxes filled with goldfish. There's no actual T-shirts in them,
Pretty
right?
much.
Yeah.
It's just fucking hopes and dreams and those things. But yeah, man,
Everything's staged.
It's funny to see that every other day, because I mean it's still happening too. Even though like we're producing volume, like we're kind of slowly reaching the territory where we're becoming like a medium-sized print shop, I guess you could say, where we're getting in that 7-figure territory. We're climbing out of small business range, and we're about to move to a bigger facility that's literally 8 times the size of what I have now. And we're going to add more staff, more equipment, more everything. And it's just...
You're leaving your property?
Yeah, it's going to be a little
That's
while
good
down
news.
the road. But
Buying machines,
awesome.
baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Zach's going to raise.
Yep.
Having some steak this year.
There's definitely going to
No
be
more-
another
no more
Tajima rolling in
backyard?
there
Yeah.
quick. No, I thankfully the new spot, it's only a couple miles away from where I'm at now.
Nice.
I just closed the deal on the piece of property literally
Congrats.
the last couple of days.
Nice.
So we got to start. It's a fresh, brand new development going up. I got 1.5 acres in there, so I got to start building a brand new building from the ground up, which is going to be a whole other shitstorm in itself. I can guarantee that. That's going to be fun. I'm already stressing out about it. Like they were asking today questions about, things that I'm going to be putting in this building. And I'm like, well, I know what I need to put in there now, but what do I need to put in there like 5-6 years from now? And I got a plan for this. And like, oh my God, it's stressful. So I'm going to be losing a little bit of sleep over that for the next little while. But at the same time, like, that's what I signed up for. And it's gonna
Lee,
be fun.
The rumor on the street is that you got that, beautiful big garage there. And I think I might have read it in a Rogue Lab group or something that you were turning it into a strip club called Lee's
let's
Ladies.
go.
Is that true?
I mean, it's possible.
Lee's Ladies? Huh?
It's possible. We'll see
All
what
right.
see what you look like in a thong. We'll talk about it.
Can you imagine? I'm the only one willing to dance for you, Lee.
This friggin' greased
All
up
right,
Zach
guys,
sliding
I gotta
around.
go. I gotta go.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Man.
Lee, your fitness journey has been badass, bro. Like,
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
Like,
Yeah,
just
that
by
was
posting-
Yeah,
something
the
else to throw on
motivation.
my plate.
Yeah.
I like the gut that you showed. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Badass, dude.
I mean,
Before
that was
and after.
Absolute badass.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a fat fuck there for a little while.
Were
It
you
was-
pushing,
we
or
all-
that was like the legit photo?
No, that was legit. Like
Yeah?
that was straight up eating fucking skip the
Badass.
dishes, takeout like 2-3 times a day for over a year. Because all I wanted to do was work, right? I just worked, and like didn't take care of myself and whatever else, took no breaks, and it caught up to me big time. And it was like, hold on, what the hell happened to me? I used to be a professional athlete. Now I look like this. So fix that real quick. We put a full-blown gym in my house now, so I have no excuses whatsoever. It was one of those situations. It's kind of like with screen printing, right? Hadn't printed a shirt in my entire life and was like, I'm going to dump like 50 G's on screen printing equipment so I can't turn back. And I did the exact same thing with the fitness equipment. I was just like, I threw the wallet down. I was like, I'm going to buy all this crap, so now I have to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to be pissed.
Badass.
So
dude.
that's what I did, and it's been working out pretty good. So things are going the right direction. And honestly, like, dude, I think Sean told me some stuff about this a long time ago too, and it didn't really register at the time. But like how much that affects the day-to-day business life is insane.
Big time.
Insane. Like my output levels now there's no way I could do what I'm doing now, like 6 months ago. Not a chance.
Yeah. So I guess
Badass.
I mean, Sean's, I don't know if Nick and Jeff, you guys hit the gym, but it seems like all my co-hosts are getting pretty shredded.
All getting yoked up.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
a
look,
motivation for me to
I
get to
work
the gym.
out. I work out 5 days a week, but my issue is the opposite of you, Lee. When I work late and long, I don't eat. I don't even stop to take a leak. I just keep going. You know, it's just like
Energy is a bunch.
it's crazy. But you know, you have. For me, if I didn't work out, I would actually lose my shit. Like it literally just eases my mind. It allows me to think, and that's my break. Because I don't have a break throughout the day. I grind all day long. But I love this business. I mean, it's fun, you know. So super rewarding too at the end of the day.
It makes such a massive difference because I mean, like when you're kind of dealing with the shit that we deal with and in the position that we're in, like you kind of have the weight of the world on you sometimes. And like, there's been times where you feel like you're hitting that boiling point of stress where you like feel like you want to break down and cry in the corner or like fucking rip someone's head off, one of the two. And you get in the gym and all of a sudden that kind of just disappears. You just start lifting heavier, you run harder on the treadmill, whatever it is that day. And all of a sudden, you know, like 25 minutes, half an hour later, it's like, okay, reset. Now I'm back in the game. And it's just, that has been such a huge game-changing experience for me.
No, 100%. And a lot of people don't understand, but like you watched a Rocky movie, right? And that scene, it lasts what? You know, whenever the song comes on, he's climbing up those stairs and he's pumping. It's like what? Maybe it's 3 minutes of really good motivation. But in life, that scene can last 3 to 4 years. Right? So for me, working out is not just a way for me to ease my head or ease my mind. It's a commitment, right? If I can do it day in and day out, I know whenever life throws hard things at me, whether it's in the business, my relationship with my wife or my daughter, anything, I know that I can surpass it because every morning when I wake up around 4:45 every morning and I start working out around 5:30, right? I come to the office, we got a gym, and I don't want to do it. I'd rather just work because I enjoy working a lot more than working out. So my brother comes in at that time and then he's like, all right, come on, we're going to work out. And we do it day in and day out. And the reason is it's our commitment for us and for our future because we know that hard shit, we can surpass it. We can always commit and go through it. So we always, since I'm doing it with my brother, we always push each other. So we're like, all right, let's do this today. I'm like, nah, let's add 20 more. And then he's like, all right, you want to do that? All right, let's bump up the treadmill and do it even harder. So it's always kind of like a competition that we have together. But at the end of the day, we're pushing each other to be better, right? And it's just like that Rocky scene. You see in the movie, it's 3 minutes. But in life, it can take 3, 4, 5 years. You never know. So you have to be ready for it. So me, it's just a mental clarity of going back to that every single day whenever life throws things at you, right? And you look at it in a perspective, if you zoom out and you're in the, like, I don't know, atmosphere, and you're looking at yourself, you're like, is this problem really true? Do I need to really have that stress? What can I do with it? Well,
Yeah.
you can go and start doing
Channel.
actions and take actions and move on, right? So that's the only thing I do. And I feel like it's hard to compete with people that do that because of the level of energy you have and what you can complete in a day, right? I wake up at 4:45. I go to bed roughly at 11 because I stop working at around 10 and have like an hour with my wife, and that's it. I just repeat every single day, but I'm not tired. I'm not whining about it. I take 2 coffees a day and I like doing this. I feel like I'm living, right? If I wasn't doing this, I feel like I wouldn't be living. I mean, life is called life for a reason. You have to live it. And I feel like when I go through hard shit, it's life, right? It's living. So
That's nice.
I enjoy these things. But
So-
I'm getting
I need to
motivated
do
right
the
now.
4:30.
Passion, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
That just hyped me up.
You know what's cool? You were talking about, traditionally that's the best way to push yourself. A lot of people, they need that, like, gym buddy. But I was literally just at the gym inquiring to sign up, which I did.
Nice.
So I bought a lot of new gym gear. It's looking pretty fly. No, but one thing that they had, which I thought was crazy, I'd never seen it before. It's this gym called One Health Fitness, and they got, I think, like 2, maybe 3 facilities, and they're like super high end, like Lifetime on steroids. And they had these new German machines, and basically you make a profile, and I've never seen these before anywhere. And when you get to the gym the first time, you set your weight and you scan, and it'll remember it. And then the next time you come, you basically say like, okay, I want a 10% bump this workout day. I'm feeling good. I'm going to do 10%. And as you're lifting, if you get stuck, it gives you like the slightest spot, like barely anything, just to keep you going. Like it's like the perfect spot. And I thought that was like incredible. Yeah, I'm never like a fan of machines.
It's a trainer.
Yeah,
It's a trainer.
I've never been a fan of machines at all, but with this tech, it just makes it so much easier for you to push yourself and not worry about somehow, getting stuck or really hurting yourself. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
that's pretty
That's
sweet.
rad.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a pretty expensive gym membership.
Yeah, it's like
Mine is,
$300 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Equinox.
Yeah. My gym, I go to Planet Fitness, and I go there pretty much at 9:30, between 9 and 11 at night, every night. That's when I'm there.
Nice.
And when I'm on the road traveling, sometimes I'll just sleep in the car, and then I'll hit the gym in the morning, work out, take a shower, and keep going. Depending on how some shops I'm in, I'll be in a shop till like maybe 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and it's I don't know, it's you have to work out because it keeps you mentally stable, right? If you're not working out, you become angry, and frustrated.
There's nowhere for that stress.
And I will tell you, like, Lee, you just said, the tears and sweat and blood in this industry. Like, I was in that position when I first started my business. I was 19 when I got into it. I bought my first automatic, and I won this bid for 5,000 shirts. It was for a local radio station, and we were printing for the WHFS festival. They had like Pearl Jam, Chili Peppers, all these bands. Cool. And here I'm this young guy, and I won this bid. And my sales guy I said, look, I need an automatic press. He's like, I'll have one to you in a week. Well, I ordered it a month before it showed up the week that the order was due. I called the guy at the end of the week, and I said, I got good news and bad news. What do you want? He goes, give me the bad news. I said, the bad news is I don't have your full order, but the good news is I have 1,500 pieces. He goes, I'll pay for these, but don't ever call me again. The problem was I had no idea how to run the press, how to print, sim process. I had everything on a 120 mesh, 125, I had no idea what I was doing, but it was a learning curve, and that's where I said, fuck this. I'm going out. I'm going to do my own color separations. I'm going to learn how to do this and make this right. And I'm pretty much self-taught within the industry. It was fun, but it was like, I think I shedded a few tears that week because we worked so hard for 5 days straight to print 1,500 t-shirts because we had no idea what we were doing. And the chemicals and the emulsions back then, they were so different from today.
Gnarly.
I mean, it was a totally different industry. Like today, it's a breeze compared to what we went through. We were using stat cameras, to take your film, to create your image to put on a screen. And sometimes when I first started, it was Ruby Lift. We were cutting Ruby Lift with halftones. So everything had to have a black outline around it to hide the cut mark. But
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah,
you're those customers
cool.
that drive me crazy. And actually, Lee did this shit too. You guys get a machine, and first off, you start booking customers even before it's landed in the freaking
Oh, yeah.
continent. And
Every
then you're
time.
up my ass
Every
all
time.
the time, which is why I lie. Like, I always say, let's say it's supposed to arrive April 1st. I say April 14th. And then even then, like Lee, when we installed his Tajima, we didn't even get to finish the install. Literally, we were the first day, and he's like, I got all these jobs lined up. And Derek's like, yo, Lee's got to run the machine. I said, okay, let him run it. And then Lee, he posts a video. He's like, man, I'm having some problems with my machine. I'm like, yeah, we didn't finish. We got to dial it in, man. Chill. Tajima's calling me like, how is this possible? It's a brand new machine. I said, we didn't finish setting it up. Lee's like had jobs that he had to run.
Got to catch up and work on that level, man.
That's
Drives
funny.
me crazy, man.
That's why you bought it.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, yo, try and give yourself like 2 weeks of it landing and then playing with the machine. Learn how to use it before you sell the shit out of it, you know? But
hey, look,
I get it.
My issue was the sales guy told me it was going to be there like a month before the order was due, not like a week. It was crazy. But look, you know what?
That's awesome.
I can tell you that's pretty much every screen printer, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like what Lee, you were saying, you know, you want to work on your business and not in your business. And I go into so many shops where it's owner operator. They don't have time to read the manual or the instructions. They just want to throw that aside, get it up and figure it out. Right. And sometimes that, you know, it can be the death of your business because you just waste it, you know, for that week or month, whatever it is. You know, you're right. I agree with you, Zach. You know, take the time to plan it out. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way because we buy the equipment when we truly need it.
Yeah, and you know what?
Deposit.
I did the same thing. I remember when I first bought my Cornette, and I thought it was going to be the best thing in the planet, and I was buying like the Ferrari, a $470,000 DTG machine, and I got it, and it was a complete disaster. I could not get that thing running for like a month. It was a huge, and then I got that, so I was supposed to get in September, and then we were supposed to onboard Redbubble in October. Come October, the machine's barely running. And then it was down like 4 to 6 hours every single day. And I'm already, so Sean, imagine like you get into POD, right? And you're just about to land your biggest customer and you get your machines and literally it's like, it doesn't work. And you're fixing it all the time. It killed me. But yeah, it's the game, man. You know, like you said, people buy machines because they need them. You're excited naturally. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like some people are like, oh, you just got a new printer. But some people are like, no, like it's like, I don't know. Like for me, like my business is like so intertwined with my life. So like, you know, me getting a new printer would have been like me getting a new girlfriend. You know, it's like a big deal, right? And
you're right.
Always choose the printer.
Always choose a printer.
It's going to be less expensive and give you less headaches.
Less maintenance,
You're on
right?
something, Lee.
Yeah.
I learned that recently, and things are going my way.
That's awesome.
It's
That's funny. But who's right? Right? Is it the guy that wants to be the owner operator? Is it the guy that wants to work on the business? Is it the guy that wants to be an investor in the business? At the end of the day, I feel like y'all have your own goals and values of what you want to be, right? And some people are just passionate about the industry and they just want to be hands-on. I think the problem is a lot like a lot of gym owners are passionate about the sport or like about gym rats, and they're like, oh, I'm going to own a gym. But they don't realize that the pain point of a business is never your passion. It's always the same thing, whether it's hiring, whether it's HR, whether it's cash flow, whether it's bank, whether it's this, like they always have the same pain points, right? Whether it's marketing, whether it's customer service, there's always the same things that you have to solve. And people that go into businesses because of their passion oftentimes don't realize what the true problem is, right? And every business, whether you're printing t-shirts or you're wrapping cars like we do here, and you always end up at the same spot because it's like if you're looking at a funnel, right? It goes in the beginning and you're loving what you do, so you're producing a great product. And then customers come to see you because you're producing that. And then you have too much volume to where you're like, oh, I need to hire. And now I need to do sales. So now you sub that out, and then you forgot what you really love because you're like, oh, this is what I need to do. I need to pay for my house. But what's like, I want your input on this. Like, who do you think really has the answer? Like for me, I definitely love working on the business. I love being able to be a leader for the team and seeing it grow. Like that's my passion. That's what I love. And I found out that printing shirts is not really my passion. I really much more enjoy leading a company to where it can grow and have people be happy and be efficient in it.
Well,
But
something
You know,
cool that I
yeah.
learned about that was like what I was worried about the most was removing myself from the process and like the artistry of screen printing, right? Because that's like, I love that shit. But I learned at the same time that removing myself from the process actually made me better at it, if that makes sense.
Delegation.
So like, as soon as I remove myself, all of a sudden, like a lot of the times we'll like kind of get in our own way, right? Like you're stuck on this idea or whatever it is, and like you just kind of just go nowhere with certain things. All of a sudden, you kind of remove yourself from that process, look at it from like a different viewpoint, and you've got a team of people now collecting data for you, giving you feedback on stuff, and then all of a sudden, like you're able to problem solve on an entirely different level than you could before.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not printing on the press like at all anymore, like I rarely get on it, for some reason, I can go on there now and problem solve 10 times better than I could before. Like print way more high level stuff and guide my guys to do it in a way that I couldn't even have done it if I was still on the press by myself, which is super
That's
weird.
because you're giving your mind a break, right?
Yeah, you're able to kind of separate yourself from the process and look at it a little bit differently and problem solve in a different way because you're not the one that's sitting there, you know, fucking frustrated over this thing that you've just been fighting with for the past 2 hours or whatever it is. You know, you're getting called in after they've already done that. And then you're like, okay, let's sit back, look at this, take all their feedback and figure it out. And then all of a sudden, like, my game has leveled up just exponentially. Even though I've printed less shirts, I've become a 10 times better screen printer over the past little while, which is super
fun.
weird.
So when I look at Lee and I look at you, Sean, right? So, and I'm kind of in the same spot as Lee right now, right? Like I had prior to my new business and what I've been doing, I've had partners. And when you don't have partners and you just have employees, it's hard to have that collaboration with somebody that can help you out when you're down or when you're stuck in a position where you feel like you just can't get out. And we're kind of like racking our brains by ourselves, right? With ourselves, and we can't get the answers. Whereas, you know, and it makes it more difficult to run your business. When you have a partnership, there's 3 different entities to this business, right? Really 2, but I always say 3 because you have your sales, right? Then you have the middle of level of production, which would be your art and screen prepping. And then you have your actual production. It takes a team of people to manage all that. So for Lee, you know, Lee's trying to delegate and have people do that. It's harder to delegate and hope that you have a lead person who cares just as much as you. So you know, and for you, Sean, you have family that's working within your industry, your business with you, and it makes it more supportive. So when a person had said to me a couple of years back, you know, Jeff, stop being a perfectionist with everything you're doing. You can only please 90% of the people. Don't worry about the other 10%. But I analyze everything that we print because I want it to be the best when it comes off the press, right? I don't care what the customer, what they think, whether it's high level or low, mid level or whatever. They're not going to know. But for me, I know and I feel good when that print goes out the door. So that's the difference. And when you're working by yourself, it's hard to manage all those entities within the business.
Yeah. I'll give you my perspective. I mean, I'm in shops all the time. And I think that the shops who are most successful have several things in play. Number one, I think being an owner-operator when you start is super important. You need to know how to run these machines, what these machines do, the capabilities, the capacities, the intricacies of print. It's so important. I've seen shops that, you know, like someone's just got a ton of money, comes in and buys a shop, and it's always a shit show, right? So
Always.
I think starting by getting your hands dirty, like even for me, we would fly our guys down to the brother DTG training to get certified as a brother tech. I went as well. Why? Because if I don't know how long it takes to take a print head or how long that print head's supposed to last, how can I hold anyone accountable, right? So I think that that's important is having that owner operator, but I also think that you can only do that for a limited time. So when I see shops, I had a great meeting with a guy right now, and he launched his business 2-3 years ago. He's rated at $2 million, and he's like, man, like I'm killing myself and I can't scale. And I said, well, like, what's your day look like? And he's spending like 5-6 hours a day printing. So I told him, like, dude, you need to be able to remove yourself and sell, because at the end of the day, that's how you make money. You know how to do the printing. Now go out and sell and hire someone. So I think that's important. Secondly, and I've always done this with all my businesses, I've always had partners, right? Whether it was Shirtley or Print Simple or RB Digital, I've always really felt that And then I saw, you always see stuff on Instagram. It's like, you want to go far, go with the team, right? Because the guys you're up against that are crushing it, they are a team. They're not lone wolves. They're not by themselves. It's not a boxing match between you and John. It's a boxing match between you and, Vistaprint, right? Big companies. So you need to have, I think, those couple key points. And another thing is you need to still be relatively involved in the business. I see these massive corporations that I'm into, and I won't name names, but I go to some of these shops and they're so far removed from the business that, here's a great example. I was at a shop. They bring up, I'm 6 minutes away. They bring up all their die sub paper, their embroidery thread, their bobbins. They bring that from the States. And they bring a tech, we're the exclusive distributor to Tajima. They bring in a random guy from Montreal to come and service their machines. Why? The company's too big. The owners are too far removed. There's no more entrepreneurial spirit of, hey, trying to save money however you can. So I think that there's a lot of things that kind of come into play along with a little bit of luck to make you successful. But yeah, it's, you see everyone's got their own way of doing things, but if you want to scale, you definitely have to have like some of these core principles in mind, in my opinion, and be successful. You could scale but not make money, but I mean, who wants that, right?
The pulse, man. You have to be tied in. Once you step back too far, you lose that that pulse on the business. So it's to Lee's point. I like how with Lee delegating some of this stuff. Oftentimes, when you put a new employee on a task, they may have a different approach that you didn't see before. So you can step back and go, holy crap. If we're getting to the end of the goal, I never would have chosen that path, So yeah, it's always cool to kind of, delegate and then see how they get to the end of that result.
It is cool to see that and to allow them to use that and see them flourish in it too. It's that's one of the 8 ways to lean is underutilized talent, right? A lot of places will be like, this is how you do this is how it's fucking done. We don't want it done any other way. And that's probably one of the worst ways to run a business, because I guarantee you there's someone there smarter than you at whatever little particular task there is that could probably do it a little bit better or add some kind of insight or input that could make that task just a little faster, a little smoother, a little easier, whatever it could be.
Precisely.
Yeah. And then you get to a stage where we're getting there, right? We're at that phase to where we want to still have that entrepreneurship spirit as well as kind of like the big business spirit, to where this is our SOPs, this is what you need to follow, and this is what you need, like the guidelines, right? And it's hard. That's what I was saying. Like we're jungling right now with, right? It's how do I have that middle ground, and how am I able to scale the staff, knowing that we want to go somewhere in some place to where it's straightforward and it's easy to understand, it's easy to scale, because anything with volume becomes complicated, right? So the more staff you add, the more complicated it gets, the more miscommunications you have, because there's so many people that need to be on the spot and know what's going on, that you have to tighten the rope, right? And if we laid off quite a bit of people and hired new people, it's not that it didn't like the people, it's just with change, it affects people, right? So people come in and then they're used to something, and then you tighten the screw, you tighten the processes in place, because you have to scale and it has to be feasible for everybody to make a living, or else it's just not feasible if you just let everybody play in the back. Then people are like, oh, okay, they start slacking because you actually tighten the screw. Then they're not doing their job anymore. It's not that they're bad people. They just don't like change, right? So when that happens, it's hard for you as a business owner to be like, okay, well, what am I doing? Do I lead with emotion? Do I go and try to talk to them? Or am I more rational about the business and where we want to go? And that's what was really hard for me in the last 2 months and a half, is like dealing with that and being okay to let my emotions aside a bit and more really understand the business and where we want to go, and take the right decisions for the team, because I knew it were the right decision to move forward, right? So it's like the system that we have in place now and the way we roll is really, I don't know if you guys read the book Traction.
I was literally just going to quote it as you were talking there. I was thinking about right person, wrong seat kind of thing, because you're the one that forced me to read Traction.
Exactly. Right. So we've really implemented that in the business throughout the whole system. And it's enabled us to go to a new place, right? The vision's very clear. The goal is very clear. And we hire on our values and we fire on our values. So it's not just input, output. It's more about, okay, do we have a fit? Does it work? And if it's not a fit 3 years down the road, then it's fine. Like I've always told this to my wife, is like, I fell in love with you when we were young, but my goal is to be in love with you whenever you're 50, right? Because we evolve with time. And I chose you, so I want to have that. But with my employees, it's like, hey, if you want to evolve and it's not part of this journey anymore, it's okay. Like we don't have the same commitment that I have with my wife, right? And I completely understand that. And thank you for being a part of where we're going. So that's kind of like the piece that I was able to go with and accept the challenges and the struggle and the growth that we're having right now. Because I was just like you, Lee. I was like, dude, you're going to do this job every single day in and day out. You're probably going to find better things than I do. You do it, right? Here's the basis. Now it's more like, here's the SOP. Here's what you need to follow. Don't question anything for the next 2 weeks. Do it. And then try to find something better, because we're not perfect. We're not the smartest people in the world. But right now, this is the best we found it. So try it out and then let me know. So that's our new way of doing it, instead of just winging it, right?
We've heavily heavily have adopted that mentality too. Like now I tell my guys, like, your job isn't to print shirts. Your job isn't to run this embroidery machine. Your job is to improve the process of printing shirts, improve how we embroider shit. Like that's your main goal. Printing shirts is second or third on the list, kind of thing. And then that was something we kind of slowly implemented over the last, I would say, year or so. And it's made a big change. And even in myself too, because that was something that just never clicked in my head for a long time, because I was just like, I want to be the best at this, whatever. And it never really registered in my head that that's kind of what I was doing to a certain degree, but I just never had heard it put into words before. And then like, I wasn't really leading my team in that direction either. It was more or less like me being myself, because I'm the most competitive fucking person on the planet, that I just want to be the best at everything. And like, I'll just come in and flex on my employees at like, fuck you, I'm better than you at this. Stand back. And then having to kind of like reroute my brain to that mentality was a shift, but I mean, like a shift that we saw tremendous growth from, that's for sure.
Yeah. There's actually, it reminds you of this. I mean, I think that's a problem with a lot of business owners that, I guess, aren't lazy. They want to get involved in every single aspect. And that's like a huge, crux. I mean, to give an example, or a book that it was like a workbook I did, and it was called The Lazy CEO. And the one thing I pulled from that was like, if you have a job or a task that you're doing and one of your employees can do it 70% as good as you can, delegate it. Like it's not a good use of your time. And just yesterday, 2 days ago, my partner Kevin was with me over here. And we were visiting a bunch of shops, and literally over the last 2.5 weeks, like I said, we've been slammed. I've been up every single night from like 1 to like 3 a.m. and up at like 7:30. Like, it's been brutal. I'm weeks behind on quoting right now. And I was just in the car with Kevin, and like by the last day, he's like, dude, we're getting you an EA. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you can't keep up, because it's like boom, 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 boom. Like he's got to make a call to his wife. He doesn't have a chance. Like boom, 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 boom. And a lot of the stuff is stupid. People are like, hey, Zach, I need a technician. Or, Zach, can you tell me how to do this? You know, it's a lot of things that you get bogged down on that doesn't allow me to focus on the big picture things. So there's a book that my cousin Dan from Print Geek, he's like, honestly, every business owner needs to read this one book. And it's called Buy Back Your Time. I've had no time to read it.
Reading it right now.
Yeah. It's been sitting on my nightstand. So I have like 8 flights over the next month. I'm like, I'm going to crush this book and Traction. So I have both of them ready to go. But, basically he just talks about like how important it is and how much of a game changer, like him, Jesse from Avid, a lot of these shops that really got things going properly, they're like, you need an EA, you need someone that's and a good EA, not your buddy who like, like someone who went to school for this, these positions are like 6-figure positions. Right.
Yeah.
And from what I've been told, it's like, it takes 3 to 6 months to acclimate, but it gets to the point where like they're in your brain. You never get an email unless it goes through them first. They get rid of 70% of the garbage, and at the end of the day, you get a report. So if Lee says, and I think we talked about this last night, Lee.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
that's great.
Instead of like, for example, me saying, okay, I'm going to process this thing for Lee. The EA does it, and at the end of the day, I get a report that I can read through in 3 minutes. So I know, hey, I answered Lee. And, he's taken care of. And I'm really looking forward to that, because I think it will allow me to focus on the important things like marketing, big company visions, and, interacting more with customers, instead of me like talking to China at 2:30 in the morning and drafting up a PO and then having to go back and forth 100 times. And I'm up till 3 in the morning because I'm like, I need to get this out. Right. So I'm looking forward to it. But I think that's something that, all of our businesses are at a scale that I think we should start looking at that. So I'm pretty. Do any of you guys have an EA or no?
No, that's
gotta-
something
No.
I'm kind of looking at a little bit. It's like that, or like hiring my first A player, which is something that Sean brought up earlier. It's kind of like which one's gonna give me the most benefit for where I'm at right now. And it's hard to decide.
Well, you got Wheelie over there. He seems to always be in your face.
Yeah,
Is it Wheelie or is it Wheelie?
yeah, that's him.
All right.
Yeah.
You're the only person I'll remember their cat's name. Really?
pretty
Like,
easy,
I
man.
hate,
Come on.
It's a
I
good
hate
name.
cats, but I remember your cat's name for some reason. So
It's not manual. It's not manual.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
me.
yeah.
He's a star. You can't help it.
So let's shift gears a little bit. What do we see? There's so much shit going on. DTF taking care over embroidery shops going out of business, crack guys putting their equipment out, blowouts. What do you guys see? I mean, you guys all have, we mentioned that, a different pulse in the industry. Like, what do each of you guys think we're going to see in this 2025? Because obviously there's all this tariff bullshit, which as of right now has been amazing for us. It's done a couple things. One, we've seen the amount of people, Canadians that were outsourcing their stuff to the U.S. Like, I have a company, they have all their printing every single day coming up to Canada. I'm talking like pallets of stuff, right? And it's not even apparel related, right? And now they've said, okay, we have to set up a facility. We're seeing a lot of that. Are there some guys who are like, yeah, I'm going to open up in the States? Like Jesse at Avid's been playing around with the idea. That's why he snapped up Sean's equipment. But overall, I'm seeing more growth. And look, I'm not in Trump's ear, but I don't think that this is going to be a long-term thing. But I do think that this was a very big reality check for Canadians. Like, I'm trying to sell my house right now, and literally it's starting to pick up now over the last week or two, but it was dead. And it's because just a couple threats really like rocked our market. Our dollar rate shit. So I think that this was a harsh reality check for Canadians, basically that, hey, you guys we're relying too much on the Americans. And like, listen, we love to do business. You're kind of our big brother. But at the same time, the fact that just threatening a tariff can rock us like that is kind of scary. When these tariffs first started coming, I mean, I'm telling you, it was the first time in 5 years I was able to make cold calls, and I was just calling up customers. Normally I send a quote, and if I hear back from you, great. Like, I don't have time. If it's a big one, I might remember. But it was at the point where I'm calling people like, yo, what's up? Like, you're ready to close. And like, dude, we don't know what's going on, man. Like, we're not ready to buy equipment. But surprisingly, we're crazy busy. It's like it was a lull for 2-3 weeks, and we're off again. Right. So what are your guys' thoughts on, what's going on in the industry, maybe the political situation? Like, what do you guys see happening for 2025?
Yeah, I'll
With
chime in.
tariffs? Yeah, go ahead.
Just anything.
So I think, with the uncertainty right now, a lot of people are holding on to that dollar. Fast forward another year from now, once we know exactly where all this dust settles out, that's when people are going to feel a little bit more comfortable. It's like, you notice, like after the election, the economy boomed, like stock market, everything was up, 20-30%. So I think until all this stuff kind of settles out and we know exactly where we stand, it's going to be a little rocky, but I don't know. I think that's going to probably take until 2026, to be honest, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, look,
Are you guys seeing it?
I hate to talk politics, but with business, because everybody has their own opinion. But when I look at I just look at Trump and what he's doing. It's a negotiation tactic for him to bring what's fair to U.S. As well as with our partners in trade, right? So what is a fair tariff for everyone, right? And we've been getting gouged, on tariffs for a long time. So I think all of that's going to go away. And at the end of the day, everyone seems to be working together. But the one problem we have here is our left-wing media is they're brutal. And, it really beats up a lot of people and their thoughts as far as business on what's going to happen. So it's scaring everybody not to spend money. And I think all that's going to change within the next 2 or 3 months.
As the dust settles, you're exactly right. It's like, hey, focus on this, when the reality, like the economy is actually not doing too, it's like, the media will always portray one thing when the reality is the exact opposite.
Yeah. And the downside for you guys as Canadians, you have a new prime minister, right? So how do you guys feel about that? Like, was that a good move, or is it basically, another downfall to, the almighty dollar at the end of the day.
Basically, just replaced one shithead with another.
They're all shitheads.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
I honestly,
That South
I'm
Park episode.
I'm so far. I've always been so far removed from politics because my mindset's been like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not going to be happy either way, and I just got to make it work.
And you can't control it. You can't control
no,
it.
Can't control
No,
it.
so why am I going to get upset, dude? I don't even know.
Absolutely.
I don't even know our prime minister's name right now. I swear, as crazy as that sounds, I'm not even joking. I know Trump because it's always all over the place. I don't know. I didn't even know we have a new prime minister. When did this even happen? Like literally, that's how far removed I am from politics because it's just like, what's the point? Right?
Yeah.
Then all I could say is like, I played a part in putting this asshole in office, and now I got no one to blame but myself. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And people hate when they say that, like, Zach, why are you not exercising your right to vote? It's your responsibility as a Canadian, blah, 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 blah. But hey, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Well,
my
I mean,
opinion.
Got a good lane.
To go on this, to be honest, I think a lot of people are uncertain, things like that, because they don't take control, right?
Yeah.
So that's just part of it. Like Jeff, you said it earlier, right? It's like how can you control it? They're going to do whatever they want. So at the end of the day, like for me, I've always had that mentality. I was like, I'm never going to turn my TV on and watch the news. Like, why would I do that? The only thing I'm going to do is read in the morning what's happening. All right, this is happening. And as a business owner, as a person, I'm just going to take action on what's there and what can I do, right? So that's the only thing really I have control is what can I do today with what's the reality of right now. Any speculation or opinion from my father, my sister, my aunt, like what is that going to do to me, right? Nothing. So for me, it's all I see is opportunity, right? Everybody sees, oh, it's going to shit, it's going to do that. Well, there's always a yin to yang, right? So if somebody does this, then you can always do the upside. So I see it as an opportunity either to bring more business here or just open in the States and take more business in the States. That's just how I see it. It's right. It's in my control as a person. They're going to do what they want to do, and they're billionaires, so they can line your face and then do something else because they have the power to do that. We don't.
You're right.
We as small people, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, a recession is good, right? It resets.
It's all
takes
cyclical.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It takes away the companies that don't know how to exceed and excel in times when times are bad. That's good because we're cleaning house. It makes more opportunity, gives more opportunity to the people who can run a business and be successful, right? So it's sometimes you need that in life and in business but the people, like for me, a good example is when COVID kicked in. I had just started my business. There was I didn't receive any government funding, but I started printing face masks. I was right around 20,000 face masks, right? I found an opportunity to make money. And then I got back into the resort business. I was selling to surf shops, mom and pop boutiques. And it was fantastic. While everybody else was sitting there waiting for money from the government and figuring out what they're going to do next, right? You have to be proactive as a business owner. And when there's challenges that come up, like we are now with the tariffs, you have to think outside the box to be a little more creative. And sometimes we have to just cut back on spending money, but it'll all come back. It's going to reset itself. And I think it's just going to be a little bit more explosive for a business owner at the end of the day with their revenue. So,
yeah.
We have the short-term memory loss, and it's like we were just in a bull market, like that. Like, let's not forget, like, even in down economies, it's not like it lasts forever. Like now's the time to invest, double down, and buy stocks at a freaking bargain because it's this stuff doesn't last forever.
I mean, if people are uncertain right now, the only thing I can say is the way you can move forward, right, is taking responsibility. And like what you were saying, Jeff, is I couldn't agree more with what you said. You saw the opportunity to start printing face masks, right? So people that are there and that are just scared, uncertain, they're not willing to take control of that aspect, right, and move forward. So it's like if you're looking at it and you're sitting there and you're not certain, what's the only thing you can do to be certain, right? Is to take action and move forward. So if you're not sure right now, you're a small business and you're like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to do that? Are you good at what you do? Can you offer a great product and a great service? You're going to find solutions, right? Just keep doing that and do more of it. People are going to buy it. So I think that's what people often forget is like, what am I doing here? They're all looking at what's happening there, but they're not focused on what's here right now. So focus on that. And I think you're going to be just fine. Like like Jeff, you opened the business in COVID and you found a solution to make it work and be profitable and actually thrive, right? Who would have thought?
Yeah. And look, I have a lot, right? My kids are in private school. They weren't in school, but I still had to pay for their education, right?
Yeah.
And when I had called the school and I had said, I said, are you going to work with the families? And they're like, there's public school. It was basically like, fuck you. You either pay or you take your kid out. It's that simple. And, I've always been the guy that, there's always an opportunity to make money. You have to be persistent to go out and find it. And that's where I feel bad for some of the people that get into this industry, because they have no sales background. They're not sales savvy to even where to go look for business. They think that, hey, I bought a press, I'm going to open up my doors and it's going to come in. It's not like that at all, right?
You get the artist starts, and then you have to learn the business side of it after that.
All right, I might be harsh a bit here, but to be honest, like what you said is more like people are saying that, oh, it's not my fault. They're trying to find a responsible person as to why it's happening or why it's not working for them, right? Well,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not okay with that, to be honest, because it's always your fault. Whether, like for me, I was 16 years old and I was driving my pickup truck and I got hit in the back. I got rear-ended, right? And when I looked at that, when I was 16, I was young. And when that happened, I was like, shit, that's my fault. And my dad, I got back to my dad, and my dad, I was going to be like, Dad, you're going to be pissed off. I got rear-ended. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I should have looked in the mirror, see if somebody was coming to move. In my mind, it was like, it's my fault. I wasn't concentrated as my environment, right? But people say that, oh no, you got rear-ended, your insurance is going to cover it. It's not your fault. Well, if I was really concerned at what's happening in my environment, I would have looked in my rear view mirror and moved, right? So people that say I'm buying a press and then business should come, to be honest, it's on you. It's your fault. You should know, you should study and get your feet into it. So if you take responsibility into your actions and you're moving forward, you're going to learn. So I always say,
you're absolutely right.
The business works more on you than you work on it. Right. Mm-hmm. So the reason why I say that is because the business works more on you than you work on it, because every move that you take is your responsibility. Whether your staff doesn't know what to do, whether you're not making your pay at the end of the month, whether your bills is too low or you're making a lot of money, it's always on you. It's your responsibility. And you're willing to take that pressure, you're going to move forward a lot faster and you're going to learn a lot quicker. Right.
And it's like now,
the responsibility.
Yeah. Look, it's like the Stampinator, right? If I added up all the people who told me, hey, you're crazy creating something within this industry, just be a printer. And, it was an expensive journey, to make this thing happen. But I was determined, because I was always determined to start my own business. And I started printing shirts at the age of 19 with my brand that we had was Free Ride Fuckwear for mountain biking. And
I love it.
I was buying Goodwill clothing and cutting it up in spraying stencils. And that's how I got in. I bullshitted my way into a screen print shop and told them I could print. That, it was something I learned in school, and they hired me. But, I remember when I came home with the idea of the Stampinator, even my wife told me, you're nuts. Why are you doing this? We got a family. We can't risk spending any more money. But you know what? Without risk, there's no reward, right?
Totally.
And
believing
and when I think of this business, people who are starting out, you're all in, or you're not. It's not going to work for you. And Zach, I agree with what you were saying earlier, right? You need to, and I'm a big fan of Shark Tank, and Mark Cuban always says it.
Yes.
You need to know every aspect of your business, okay? But don't work in your business, work on your business. But you need to know that if there is a problem or an issue, you can fix it and you can handle the situation, right? A lot of people don't have that ability because they're just not business savvy, that's what it comes down to. So there's something for everyone.
They're not business savvy. Yeah, they're not business savvy because they don't want to become business savvy. That's my point,
to
right?
become that.
Big time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to hit home is like, whether that person on the back of the shop is not doing the job, it's on you. It's whether your processes weren't clear enough, whether they just don't want to do it, fire them. It's on you. Do it. It's your fault.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's what I want to hit home.
Yeah. And look, when you go to fire somebody, for me, it was always hard when I had my business. But I learned over the years, and honestly, when The Apprentice came out and Trump would say you're fired, he basically told me that, listen, I fired yourself. I'm just telling you that you're fired, right? And it's so true. It's so true because at the end of the day, I don't want a body in my shop that's here for a paycheck. I want a worker that's here for a paycheck.
Bought into
and I want
the vision.
somebody who respects me as, as an employer to an employee, right? And unfortunately, we don't have that today, because as a parent, I think it's my job to teach my kids the work ethic of, to have a great work ethic and to provide for themselves. I don't tend to do that a lot because I'm stuck just like everybody else, giving everything to my kids. So we're hurting that new generation of workers. We're doing them a disservice, to be quite honest with you.
It's so true. I mean, we have a hard time finding people to fill certain roles. Obviously, whether it's like shipping or admin or warehouse. And unfortunately, when we do hire a lot of these like younger people in their early 20s, like they bounce pretty quick. It's just like, oh, it's not what I thought it'd be. What do you mean it's not? The job description says shipping and receiving. What did you think? You're gonna ride a unicorn every day? Like, it's very clear, right? And like we try and make it fun, and we try and have a community, and it's like a family here. But it's hard, man. Like the younger guys don't want to work, and then what ends up happening is I end up hiring an older guy, right? And so it's pretty unfortunate. And Jeff, I remember like 3 years ago, you told me a story. You were in an interview and you're hiring a guy, and you said like, "Why do you want to work here?" And he's like, I want a paycheck. And you're like, all right, buddy, like there's the fucking door. I remember that. I don't remember the exact intricacies of the story, but I remember something around that. And that was like
that's a weird answer.
I ask when I hire somebody, I ask them, are you here for a job? Or are you here for a paycheck? If they tell me they're there for a job,
good question.
Okay, I'm going to interview you again, and I'm going to bring you on board. But if you're here for a paycheck, the interview ends right there. Because I'm not investing my time into someone who does not care about a job, right? I'll pay you, but I need you to work, and I want you to give me your top-notch performance.
Maybe this can help people out there, but we even added to that question. What we do now is we ask the people that we want to hire. There's 3 types of people that can work here, right? And there's obviously one that we don't want. The first one is somebody who's here for a job that needs to pay his house. He doesn't really care about what we do, and he just wants a job. We don't want him. The second is the person that wants a career, right? He wants to build something here. He wants to help us grow and build a career here and work through the years and build something for themselves. And the third one is somebody that's here for a calling, that his mission is aligned with what we want to do, right? And that person will do anything to keep growing, and he never wants to leave. He has the tattoo of Printees or Stampinator stamp on his arm, right? But that person is not going to just have that right away. So what you're looking for is that person that wants a career. And if you're good at what you do and you can share your vision, then automatically people that are here for a career are going to change into a calling. And when you can have that merger happen and that reality come to life, I have goosebumps because that's like, I can think of 5 people in my mind right now in the shop that are here for a calling. And I want to help make them that calling feasible, right? The reason why is because they're giving so much for the business to become where we want to go, right? Their name is not on the business title, right? But I feel like it is because they're so aligned with the values and where we want to go that it was stronger than them to just come here for a job. They didn't care about the pay. All they wanted to do was help it grow. I feel like when I was younger, I would have done that for Apple because I loved Apple so much. I would have done the same thing. I would have worked for Apple for free, right? Yeah. And now when we hire, we ask that question. Are you here for a job or are you here for a career? And we don't talk about the calling because we know that if they're here for a career, it can be converted over time, right? But we have to be at least straightforward with our goals, our values, our intentions, and your intention are extremely strong. The reason why I'm saying this, you can manipulate someone, or you can be honest with them. It only depends your intentions, right? So I can say, oh, I want you to do this for that, and at the end of the day, it's going to be for me in my back, in my mind, and I'm manipulating them to do that. Yeah. Or I can have good intentions, but it's the same thing, right? It's only your intention. So I feel like if you have good intention, good core values, and organization, you can strive to that. So that's helped us tremendously in the last few months with all the hiring that we've been doing to get people that are on board that are here for a career. And
I
it
like
does
the fact
change
that
a lot.
the fact that you're using the word career. But the
Yeah.
problem that I have is how do you hire somebody as a career when you're only paying them $15 or $20 an hour, right? Like, because now they're just really an hourly wage person, and you hope that they're going to perform and get to the next level. And look, I like to try to hire young because you can train them. I like to hire people who have no experience because you can train them your way. When you have somebody that you bring into the shop, they are kind of stuck into their ways and they may not grow with your company. But, that's always the challenge, finding the right person. Like the old saying with hiring a salesperson. It's like, here's a pen. Nick, can you sell me this pen right now?
Take the pen. Now you don't have a pen,
So, but it's like, can you sell me this pen right now? I'm showing you. And the answer is no, because you know nothing about the pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you'll interview people and they'll say, yeah, I can sell that pen to you. And they'll look at it. It's like, it's black. It says, it's knowing your product and what you have that's going to make you a good salesperson. Coming in with good work ethic is going to make you a good employee, right? And for your
being
employer,
being
passionate, absolutely, absolutely.
Look, you can't sell if you're not passionate. I don't care if you're selling toilet paper or pencils or pens or whatever, birdhouses. Like, if you're not passionate about it, it comes off in your sales pitch, And to your point, it's so hard to find those guys. Sean, you're talking about like getting employees and it's like their name is on the business title. It's so hard. And like, I've hired some sales guys that I've known for a long time that were like rockets in retail, 200,000 plus in retail stores. And I'm like, Ben, that guy could sell. Let me bring him here. And it's a flop, 3, 4, 5 months. And they're buddies of mine. They just sit me down. They're like, dude, I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just like not feeling it. And I'm like, man, if you're not feeling it, it's not for you, right? That's really what it comes down to. You have to love what you do. Perfect example. I hired this new guy, Seb. He worked for a small competitor, really focused in the label industry, which is one of our new verticals that we want to get into, RB, this year. We're going to go really hard into labels. It's a big business. And I have a whole spin around it that I'll kind of reveal in some social media stuff where like every single screen printer, embroidery guy needs to have this specific type of printer. And it's a whole marketing play behind it. But this guy, Seb, he's up every single night, 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm there. He's still messaging me, emailing me. And, some of my friends are like, dude, like, why are you riding him? I'm like, I'm not riding him at all. Like, he literally wants to do this. He's obsessed. He's hungry. He wants to get that deal. He lost a deal, one deal since he's been here. He's been crushing one deal, and like, it's burning him. He just left here pissed off. And that's the guys you want. Those are the guys that are hungry. They're going to help you grow, and they're going to be part of that team that takes you to the next level. But it's so hard to find people like that, right?
It is.
And it's not a money thing. Like, okay, I understand the $20 per hour, fine. That's hard, and we're all struggling with that. And that's a problem with our industry because we sell ourselves too short. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, screen printers, they print for shit. If everyone elevated that, you'd be able to pay more and you get people that actually care.
Right.
So it's hard. And I know, Sean, you're really big in paying your employees more. And we do the same. Like, we pay way more our technicians and sales guys than anyone in the industry. Like, it's not even close. But that's why when I joined this company, the average employee was at RB Digital for 30 plus years. Like, it was a bloody old age home, And I brought a lot of fresh new ideas, and that's why we grew. But it's hard to find those people that like, they, like, even before
passionate.
Before I joined this partner, every Sunday I'd be like excited to go back to work, and like my at that time, girlfriend who became my wife, she's just like, I don't get it. Like, how are you excited to go to work? Like, it's so ass backwards. And I'm like, I love it. Like, I live and breathe this, right? And that's why on the weekends, Jeff, you mentioned like, you're always there to help. Like, this weekend I had a big shop that I just started out, and he's crushing it, contract. And he was in a pinch. He's like, Zach, I'm screwed. I'm out of ink. I said, no problem, buddy. Left my lunch that I was at, drove there, grabbed the ink, delivered it. You know what I mean? But that guy will always remember that. He'll always know that. He might never call me again, but he'll know that, hey, I was in a jam and Zach personally sidelined his Saturday to get me up and running. And that's the hard thing to find those employees that are willing to do that. Get that call and be like, yeah, no problem, man. I'll come take care of it, right? It's hard. It's really hard.
It's the differentiator, man. Hire for attitude, train for skill. You know, and it makes working together such a pleasure. You know, versus, you know, if you know they're just there to collect. You know, as soon as 501 hits, they're piecing out. It's like, you know, that's not a good fit.
And it's hard, just like Zach was saying, Jeff, you're saying, like, it's hard to find those people, right? But I think on a first interview, you can sense if you can guide and lead that person as well. Right?
They exist.
So
they exist out there.
For us, to be honest, we're a major leader by example in the sense I outwork anybody that works here. So it's hard for them to be like, oh, this guy doesn't work. I'm going to take like a chill pill and whatever. No, like while you're sleeping, I'm working. While you're eating, I'm working. While you're working, I'm working twice as fast. Like it's the sense of like, it's not to brag. It's just, this is what I live and breathe. I don't work. I do this.
It's fun.
I want to do three things in life, right?
Yeah.
I want to work. I want to spend time with my daughter, and I want to make love and make more babies. That's it. Like you give me that, I'm good for life. Like
all three sound great.
All three. Like,
Sean, I want to give you a little advice, Sean. 2 kids. Listen,
that's the number.
They make cars, right? For 4. Just get a 4-seater, 2 kids. I got 3 kids, and that third one just doesn't fit when you pack up and travel. It's put her on the roof.
To be honest, maybe I gotta give a shout out to my girl. She's freaking amazing, and she could raise a school, man. It's awesome. So when you have a partner like that that's willing to let you do these things on a Friday, and she doesn't call you, doesn't say anything, it motivates me to be better, right? It motivates me to give her what I in my mind should have. It's not like what she needs or what she requests is like, no, I'm doing this because 1, it brings me value and brings me satisfaction, but 2, I want you to live the dream you never imagined of dreaming, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the whole gladiator, you know, Maximus Aurelius concept. Like, you see him with all the other guys, the high-ranking generals, they're chilling in the back, you know, just sitting there watching everybody die. And that guy's out there. I'm getting chills right now. Like out there crushing it, you know, killing and leading, right? Leading by example, towing that line, getting dirty, you know, is what it is. Like today, I had to go see a customer last minute, bring him a bunch of shit. And converted the entire shop, by the way, like everything, like eco frames.
Like there was a question.
Eco frames, low cure, dip tanks, Sati systems, crushed it. But what was I saying?
It's leading from the front. You know, leading from the front. I'll jump on a step.
I didn't tell the staff, yo, load up the car. Like I went there, I'm like, I gotta go. I'm picking 5 gallons, loading up the truck. You know what I mean? That's what you gotta do sometimes. And then your employees respect you. They're like, you know what? Like if this guy's willing to do it and he's an owner of the company, like I should be able to do it. You know what I mean? And I'm proud to do it because I'm part of a team that cares.
But you can be a bit harsher on them. Like you can be a bit more harsh and strict and honest with them. That's what I like about the fact that I wear the boots of what I say, right? I say what I say, but also walk the walk in the sense of when I'm talking to people and I feel like they're slacking and I'm like, well, what else do you want to do? Is it really just the money? What's going to happen if I raise you $2 per hour? What are you going to do in 6 months?
A lot of people have that fucking act your wage mentality.
But like you talk to them, and the reason I think like we do such a good job here is because I actually spend a time into questioning those questions that they have, those life question of like, what am I going to be in the future? Will my parents think of this of me? They want me to be an engineer. They want me to be whatever it is, right? I sit down and I ask them the question, what do I need to do? What do you need to have in your life to be happier? Because right now your happiness is in your own hands, but you're not living it because you're telling me that it's because of that, because of this, because of that. You don't have your house. You can't pay for this. I'm like, what else do you want to do right now? You don't want to pick the shirts at the end of the oven. Find purpose in that.
Well,
is somebody going to make a living off of this?
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, it's an employee that just has personal problems, right, and issues. So, you know, one of the shows that I liked was it was Undercover Boss. It's not on anymore, but you know, they would ask questions, and I feel like it's good to, you know, first of all, an employee who's having a bad day, they really appreciate when you sit down with them, buy them lunch, take them to lunch, and just have those hard questions to see what's going on in their life. You know, I had a guy that worked for me for about 6 years, and he took the bus to work every single day, and he traveled almost an hour and 15 minutes on the bus. We ended up buying him a car. And you know what? He was the best employee we've ever had. Super loyal and really appreciated what we did for him. And then I have had other employees I lent money to, and it was just almost like I was just the bank over and over. And I realized that, you know, you can't help everyone. And
Yeah.
especially the people who
mentality.
aren't really truly helping themselves. So one thing I always tell people is, if you have an employee who's always asking for help or needing this, don't do it. And if they leave, it's okay, because it wasn't the right employee for you. A lot of times when we hire people, we don't want to fire anyone because we're afraid that we're not going to be able to replace them. But when you look at the value that you're getting out of them and it's zero, you need to move on. And that's where it's hard too, because then you have to go out and hire and retrain. And this isn't an industry that you come in and you pick up in a day or two, right? There's a lot that goes on. When you're printing a T-shirt, a screen breaks, you want that person who's aware of that and stops the press and not just keeps running, right?
Yep.
There's so many entities within this to make a good print. And value of an employee and the respect goes both ways with your employees, right? And an employer. And if you have that, you can grow and mature, have someone can mature within your business. And sometimes we don't give them enough time, and sometimes that's the employer's fault. I've been there. I've been guilty on both ends.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. And it's okay to resonate with them as well, in the sense.
Absolutely.
Like I go in the shop every single day, and I know how they feel. I know how their back is aching after an 8-hour shift of stamping sheets on a DTF press. I've been there. I've done it. So I'm always there and asking them, like, dude, you guys are doing an amazing job. What can I do to relieve some pressure on you guys? Is there any way possible we could do a rotating shift, or we could be more flexible to where you can go pick and then somebody else is going to come do this, even though it's an intense job and it needs to be done properly, right? Is there any way in my mind I can find solution to try to help you to make your job easier, better? Because I know that this day in and day out is hard. There's no facts around it, right? Even printing shirts, thousands of shirts every single day on a screen printing press is hard. You're doing that same motion, and somebody might be a lefty, so his left foot is always forward, right? And then his hip displacement that's there after so many years, and his arm is always going there on the same side. So like, I'm always trying to be creative and talking to them, being open about them. Like, here's what I found a solution to fix this. What do you think about that? So they really, really appreciate that. And whenever I do that, I feel like they're always trying to output more. And I'm there, dude, like, I appreciate the output, but we're running a marathon. Like, we're not trying to win the race. We try to be here, and we got to be steady every single day. So
this is where the $100 comes handy that I slip them when I visit, where they answer when he asks, what can we do? They say, buy more RB Digital automation equipment so I don't have to work as hard, right? Comes full circle.
Yep, there we go.
Awesome.
That's you. I know. They always walk out with the pockets full of cash. I'm like, what?
Every time Zach leaves, everyone's going out for drinks.
What's happening?
Sean, I was in a shop in Alabama, and they had bought a few Stampinators, but they print for Subway and IHOP and a lot of big chains. And I was talking to this guy, and I said, how long have you been printing Subway? He goes, I've been printing Subway shirts, the same design, for 6 years. Like, as
a long time.
So, the same, looking at the same design. And I said, so they don't, and they had, probably about 30 to 40 employees. And, they weren't running that fast. It was just steady, one press, one guy for the most part. I said, they don't switch you around from like maybe, Subway to IHOP to Taco Bell. And he's like, no. He goes, I'm over here. Like, literally for me, I would lose my mind if I was looking at the same design every single day.
I could.
And you're doing the same motion, right? There's no, you don't,
You're a machine.
You're a machine.
You're literally a machine.
Yeah, 2 employees and switch them. So you have a loader and unloader, because it gets to that point where you're doing that motion of loading. Let's switch it up, and you're unloading now. It's fatigue sets in pretty quick within this industry. And
that's why POD is exciting. If you run an automated POD shop where you're barcode scanning, you have no fucking idea what's going to come out of that printer.
Spice of life.
Surprise.
Right.
You might get a ball sack around the collar, right? You might get some dirty jokes, a half nude chick. When it's fully automated POD, you never know when you press that green flashing button what's coming out of that printer. And dude, we used to laugh. Like, it's actually fun. It's actually fun. Like, we would have all the guys, we're all printing and it's Christmas, we're all exhausted, and all of a sudden you're like, yo, come check out this one, right? It's so cool, right? You don't get that. You don't get that running a screen print shop, that's for sure.
No.
No.
Oh man.
Well, hey, look, I
That's
you know,
awesome.
I just want to real quick throw this out. You know, let everyone know. You know, Stampinator partnered with Stahl's Hotronics, and now they're taking over the full manufacturing of Stampinator. And I got one on the board for Lee Stewart, and I think you're going to be super excited.
Hello,
We have.
the fuck?
How many years did I push you towards that? It was like 2 or 3 years. I was calling you, telling you we need to do this.
I'm planning. I'm having MR fly in to shoot a whole marketing piece, and this guy can't give me an ETA.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
We have it. So we have. So now we have our 120 version that you can plug right into your standard outlet,
Sweet.
and which takes about 20 minutes to heat up, which isn't bad. And then we have the 240 version, which is really nice. So, and we also have a couple of things in there. Lee, I thought of this one for you because I know Ryan almost burnt down your place, or Zach. So we have a
Zach
kill
did,
switch.
fucking guy.
We got a kill switch on it. So
Wait, not
after
this
2
Zach.
hours,
Not
it
this
shuts
Zach.
off.
What
No,
happened
other
to
Zach.
Zach?
I
I
heard
didn't
shit.
hear about this.
So Zach from Rock, I was like, we were filming this. We were filming Base Camp, and we're all working like we were grinding till like 2-3 a.m. every single day. Everybody in the shop, we're
As
putting in
you
like
do.
15,
What's-
16-hour
yeah.
days, and we're all like tired of shit leaving the shop, or whatever. Like I'm just like over it. I want to go in the house, and I'm like going to shut everything down. Like Zach's like, no, I got it all already. I got it. The press is off, Stampinator's off. I'm like, you sure you got that turned off? He's like, yeah, man, we're good. I was like, all right, fuck, whatever.
I
let's
do
get
this
out of
for
here.
a living. Yeah,
We get out of here.
off.
I flick the air compressor off on the way out and whatever. And I've got the Rock next, so I've got all the individual heads or whatever. So lost air pressure overnight. He left that stamp on overnight with a shirt on the pallet. That shirt cured for fucking like 10 straight hours.
Damn.
With the Stampinator at like 320 degrees. That thing. We got back in the morning. I'm like, holy shit, it's smoky in here. What is going on? I look and see this shirt still on there, Stampinator still on. I'm like, Zach, what the fuck? And he's just like, oh shit, I guess I forgot that. He starts laughing. I'm like, I look at my press, like you couldn't even. The pallet was so hot all the way to
red.
the end of the
Just
press.
asked about
The
the
arm
pallet.
was smoking hot. That shirt, I
insane.
grabbed it off the press and just like crumbled into the dust. I couldn't believe that thing didn't set on fire.
That's a first. I got to say, that's a
Well,
that's a
Lee,
new one.
For sure.
I want to thank you for being the guinea pig. Obviously, the stamp
goat.
will not catch fire. I mean, it's the safe,
Yep.
one of the safest flashes
that's-
out on the market.
That's
We
because
learned that.
Jeff's not wiring it anymore. That's why.
It looks good.
Yeah,
Send it.
That's funny.
great. Well, listen.
I'm super excited for that new one because, like, dude, we use a Stampinator hard every single day. I think I was one of the earlier adopters of it, and we've been like, we put that thing through its paces, and that's that new version. Like, we are all very, very excited to see. So I'm glad we finally got it there. I think how many years I send you texts and phone calls of what we need to do with that thing. We got it.
Lee,
Engineering.
What I love about Lee is, you know, I never got frustrated with Lee. Only time I would get frustrated was when I saw a post. And I get it. You're a critic in the industry, right? I get that.
It's honest.
And I
man.
respect that.
I mean, that's
He
the
does.
thing, right?
Yeah.
So
No bullshit.
I told Lee this time. I said, hey, if you have an issue with the Mamaki DTF, please fucking call me before you light up my ass to the entire planet, because it might be something I can fix. Just do me this one
right.
solid. He's like, okay, I'll do that. Oh, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
people expect honesty out of me, and I give it to them. What can I say?
Yeah.
I mean, no bullshit.
Awesome.
But you
Well,
know
listen,
what? Listen, Lee, real quick, Lee. Again, thank you, because you helped me. You pushed me to make the product better, right? And look, from one screen printer to another, I just want to help everyone out there be successful, and I want to provide a product that works. I don't want to be the guy that's just R&Ding something and putting it out there and saying, fuck it, let's just see if it sells, right?
Yeah.
That's not who I am. That's not what I want, because we struggle to make a dollar in this industry at times. And equipment, it's expensive, right? And a lot of us, we don't have the money or the credit to go out and get, financing. So to me, it's important to develop something that works for the industry. And again, I just want to thank everyone for, supporting Stampinator, and we've only made it better. So it's going to be fantastic.
I mean,
Leading
Jeff, how
from the
many
front.
conversations have me and you, Jeff, had saying like, Jeff, I'm telling you this because I love you and I care about our friendship, but you got to do better here. And I expect you guys to do the same thing with me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's what it is, right?
Yeah.
If you're the guy that's just gonna be pissed off and he's not gonna push your friend or your supplier or your coworker to do better, like what are we here for, right? So I think that's important. So to kind of wrap up, I think this has been awesome. I think this, podcast kind of shows like some of the cool personalities that we're gonna have on here. I think it's gonna be a really, really, really good podcast. And one of the fun things, I think, is that we're all going to be able to, kind of say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to talk to this guy. And the first supplier that I said I wanted to do a piece with was Eric from Action Engineering. So I've never had him on here, but who wants to call dibs on that one?
I'll do it.
Who's that? Lee. Done.
Yeah.
Too late.
I've dealt with Eric plenty of times.
Buddy. Too late. You missed it. You got to be quick on it. So
Hey,
that's
look,
the first one.
look. I'm in.
Eric's the man.
I'm on the podcast every week. So if you want me to come in, I'm in. I mean, to me, look, the more we do this, sometimes I feel like when I look at podcasts and listen to people out there, they always have like the guy who's running the podcast and a guest, right? I think if we have two or more people at times, it's going to be. I think it's going to be more engaging, right? It really breaks it up. It just really adds more to the segment.
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea is relax, one co-host. Okay. Maybe once in a while we'll have a big group like this, but it's very hard. Look how hard it was to coordinate to get all of us on here. It's almost impossible. So, Jeff, maybe the next one could be you and, I don't know, maybe someone from Hotronics if they want to get on installs and maybe introducing a new product and talking about that. That could be a good little marketing
absolutely
bonus for you.
Yeah.
Those are some of the benefits you get on being on this podcast. If you have a business, you kind of get to promote it. You know what I mean? So
look. I honestly, the other thing that I want to do is I'd like to bring on some heavy hitters in the industry so we can talk to them how they got started. Where they like Jesse. Jesse would be a great guy to bring on from Abbott. Right,
Yeah.
how he
100%.
started in the industry and his headaches and struggles and why he grew and what he had to do to really accelerate his business. And sometimes it's hard choices in business to make, but at the end, it was a great return for him. It worked out well.
I call dibs on that one too.
I want to.
Yeah, be cool.
I just wanted to intro. Talk to that guy.
This is the rule of thumb. Okay. So whenever I have an idea for one and I shoot it in the WhatsApp, whoever snaps it up first.
Let's go.
Sean's always the last one to message. Like we go days without hearing from him. So Sean's going to get all the supply. Any supplier that Sean is with, nobody was interested in setting up in talking to him, right? That's going to be the rule of thumb.
Last resort.
That's
My company.
That's the bottom of the barrel.
Dude, my company chats in WhatsApp. I'm going to live in that WhatsApp group.
Awesome. Hey, well, listen, guys, I really appreciate you guys all taking the time. I'm very excited. Thanks for all coming together. I think this is going to be really cool. And I think, again, it's something that the industry needs. More education, some more good times, and just, insights on how to run your business better. Every time I do this, I learn a little bit, whether it's strategies or, anything, marketing ideas, and I implement it into my own business. So I thank you guys. I learn a lot from you guys all the time, and I'm very excited to roll this all out.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited for this
Yeah,
season.
Sean, your job, make some podcast all-star shirts for us so we can give those away.
Oh, that's easy. Hey, we connect POD store. It's done. The ship next day.
There you go.
Sean has some new sexy equipment coming in soon, so you guys have to see what's going on with that. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Lots of stuff going on there. So big revamp.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. Well,
All right.
Nice.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and hope you guys enjoyed the rebirth of the Inkpod podcast. So listeners, thanks for checking in with us, and there's a lot of cool stuff on the way. Sweet.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.